Welcome to my channel. Listen.
3 strands of the demon's golden hair. Once upon a time, there was a poor woman who gave birth to a son. When the child was born, it was seen that the top of his head was still wrapped in a bundle, and it was prophesied that at the age of 16 he would marry a princess. At that time, the king wanted to understand the hearts of the people, so he went for a walk. The king asked the villagers if there was anything strange in the village, and they said, "Recently there was a boy in the village. When he was born with his head still in his lap, it was prophesied that at the age of 16 he would marry a princess." Being inherently cruel, the king was very angry when he heard that. He immediately went to the child's parents' house, pretended to love people who liked children. The king said,
"You are poor, let me raise and educate you."
The couple and the other family also refused, but then they saw the stranger giving a lot of gold, so they thought,
"My son is probably a good person, and if he is raised and educated, he will definitely make a career."
So in the end, the couple agreed to give their child to a stranger. The king placed the baby in a chest and continued on his way. To a place of deep water, the king threw the ark into the water, thinking,
"So I freed my daughter from this reluctant son-in-law."
But the trunk did not sink. It floated with the current like a small ship, and not a single drop of water penetrated inside.
The ark kept floating like that. The ark got stuck in a watermill 2 miles from the capital. Luckily at that moment, the miller boy saw it. He used a tree branch and pulled it in, happy to find gold and jewels, but when he opened the chest, he only saw a healthy, handsome child. He carried the baby to the miller and his wife. This couple had no children, so they were very happy and said,
"It's true that God still loves our husband and wife."
The baby grew up in the love and care of the miller couple. One day, it was raining heavily and the king had to go into the mill to avoid the rain. The king asked the miller and his wife if the tall young man was their son. They replied,
"No, Your Majesty. That was the child I picked up 16 years ago. It was in a trunk that drifted along the water and got stuck at the gate of the mill. Our housekeeper saw it and picked it up."
The king immediately thought of the unlucky baby he had ordered thrown into the water, and said,
"You are gentle people, can I ask your son to bring a letter to the queen? Here, I'll reward you with 2 gold coins for that."
Adoptive parents said,
"Yes, we will do the king's will."
The son was told by his parents to prepare to deliver the letter. In the letter the king sent to the queen, it was written,
"When you receive this letter, immediately kill the courier and bury him. This order must be carried out before I return."
The young man took the letter and set off immediately, but along the way he got lost in the vast forest. In the twilight darkness, he saw a flickering light. He walked in that direction. When he got closer, it was a small house. Entering the house, he saw an old woman sitting by the fireplace. His appearance startled the old woman and asked,
"Where do you come from? Where else do you want to go?"
The boy replied,
"I came here from the mill. I was ordered to bring the letter to the queen. I would like to spend the night here, because I am lost in the forest."
"I'm so sorry. I got lost in the robber's house. When they come back, they will kill you."
The guy said,
"It's the same for everyone who comes back. I'm not afraid. I'm so tired, I can't lift my legs anymore.
So he stretched out his legs and fell asleep on the couch. After a while the robbers kept coming back. They angrily asked which stranger would dare to sleep there. The old woman said,
Oh my God! The boy didn't do anything wrong. He had to carry a letter to the queen but got lost in the forest. Seeing how guilty he was, I told him to stay here.
The robbers immediately read the letter, and saw that they had to kill the mail carrier immediately. Although he was cruel, the robber was also moved by pity. He immediately tore up the letter and immediately wrote another letter saying that when this messenger arrived, he must organize a wedding to marry the princess to that person before the king returned. Then the robbers let him sleep on the couch until morning. The next morning, when he woke up, the robbers gave him the letter and showed him the way to the palace. Receiving a letter from the king, the queen immediately organized a wedding ceremony for the good mailman. The wedding ceremony was held in the royal palace. The princess lives happily and contentedly with her handsome and funny husband. A short time later, the king returned to the palace, only to learn that the prophecy had come true and the wedding ceremony with the princess had been performed. King asked,
Why is this? In the letter I ordered completely different.
The queen took the letter and showed it to the king. Seeing the letter, the king immediately knew that the letter had been tampered with, so he called the groom to ask where the letter was written by the king. Why did he bring this letter to the queen? The boy said,
Your Majesty, I don't know anything about that. Perhaps at night while I was sleeping soundly in the forest, someone came to swap letters.
Angry, the king said loudly,
Why is the story so easy? Whoever wants to marry the princess must go to the underworld to get 3 golden hairs from the devil and bring them here to me. If you can do that, you can still return to the palace to live with the princess.
The king intended to do so to quickly get rid of that guy forever. But the other good kids said,
I will definitely get the devil's 3 golden hairs. I'm not afraid of the devil.
Immediately after that he greeted everyone and set off. As soon as he arrived at the gate of a big city, he was asked by the guards, what does he do and what else can he do besides his main job? He replied,
I know everything in life.
The guard continued,
So please tell us why the well in our market used to always flow out wine, but now the well is dry and there is no water, let alone wine.
He said,
Then you will know why. Wait until I get home, I'll tell you.
Then he continued on his way. Arriving in front of the city gate of another city, the guards asked him what job he was good at and what else he could do besides his main job. Again he said,
I know everything in life.
Guard says,
So please tell us why the apple tree in this city used to be lush and full of golden apples, but now it is bare, without even a single leaf.
He replied,
Then you will know why. Wait until I get home, I'll tell you.
He continued on his way. Reaching the bank of a large river, the ferryman asked him what he did and what else he could do besides that. He replied,
I know everything in life.
The ferryman said,
So please tell me why I keep ferrying passengers back and forth across this river without seeing anyone coming to take my turn.
The boy replied,
Then you will know why. Wait until I get home, I'll tell you.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe to the channel to learn more useful knowledge.